One thing that I waited a very long time to discover was frozen pizza. And now that I found it, I can't get away from it. So today, I will be making a pizza peel. And I used to think people that made these were a bunch of fools. They would be like this really obnoxiously long handle, and I was like, there's no way anybody's like shoveling pizza with this thing. But now that I'm on pizzas, I want one. It would be so convenient to have my pizza removal tool double as a plate. So I'm not going to have an obnoxiously long handle. It's going to look more like a frying pan. But I've got some cherry, some maple, and some walnut. And I'm going to make a thing that not only can scoop my pizza out of the oven, but I can also use as a cutting board and a eating device. Onward. I'm carrying out this project with no reason or control. I'm very excited because this is something that is on a whim and is actually for me. So we'll see when the energy dies out, but right now, energy is high! I meant to measure my toaster oven before I came to the shop, but I didn't. So it advertises that it fits a 12-inch pizza, so I'm going to make it roughly 13 inches wide and hope that it fits in my oven. The actual like plating part is going to be square, and I'm just going to give about 8 inches for a handle because I don't want the handle to be huge. So I'm just going to kind of mark my walnut here, which is going to be incorporated in the handle, and give it a chop. What the heck? Maybe I'll make 2 pizza peels. I don't need 2 pizza peels, but I'll make 2 pizza peels. Alright, here's what's going on. I'm actually making 3 of these now. I've got 1 piece like this in walnut, 1 in maple, and 1 in cherry. These will be the center of the peel and also the handle. And then I have an accent piece to complement each side, which I'll cut in half and glue 1 half to this side and 1 half to this side. And then I'm going to rip some strips out of this mahogany and this purple heart to go between those pieces just for a little bit of flair. So I don't know how I always get roped into making more of things, but I think it's good because most of my time is spent like wasting time and setting up tools. So I think it's better. All right, here we go, a little handheld. That's some new doctrine. Here is our first pizza peel, and I really like walnut. It's very nice. Here is the second one, and then this one will be mine. And I'm a little bit inclined to make this one mine because of the walnut, but I think I will stick to my guns and not guns. But I think that this will be mine. All right, pizza peel number 1, pizza peel number 2, and pizza peel number 3, my own. Well, I've spent an unusual amount of time with a temporary router flattening jig to flatten the first of 3 pizza peels. And then I went home and actually measured my oven and realized I'm making these things too wide. This is about 13.5 inches wide, and my oven is only 11.5 inches wide, which means that I need to nip off some of either side to make it fit and also hold my pizzas, which are only 10 inches in diameter. So I was way off with everything, but the joy and the sorrow, the light at the end of the tunnel, is now I don't have to fight with this thing. I can just run them all through my planer. So it's a win. I feel very foolish, but we like it. All 3 of these have been glued up and then cut down to the correct size. So now it's time to run them through the planer and then cut them to their final shape. This airplane looking thing will guide me as I draw straight and narrow lines. All right, I have my table saw set to a slight angle, and I'm just going to stand the boards up on end like this and run them through the saw. This isn't exactly the safest cut of all time, but it's been like 2 weeks since I've worked on this, and I went back and watched the footage of me cutting the angle on these, and I was like, wow, that was a really stupid thing to do. I should have used a jig. So I acknowledged that that was a dangerous cut. I did not film this, but there was a little bit of a lip here, so I just cleaned it up using my router. I have the bit set to the same height as these 2 blocks, so on a flat surface it doesn't cut anything, but then when it dips down it cuts and evens everything out. If that makes no sense, that's because I make no sense. Let us sand this and clean it up. Who knows if the camera's in focus or not. One thing that I am doing my best to do is have patience sanding this. It's really easy when there are very clear things that need to be knocked down to pull your sander up on edge like this to smooth things out. But what that ends up doing is making a divot in this. So I'm doing my best to, even though the surface is not uniform, keep my sander flat so that eventually this is flat and not wavy, but with no sharp edges. Onward. Well, hello. Let us drill a hole for the purpose of a hanging hook. Oh yes. Now we're going to flip it over so that we don't blow out the back side. Glorious. And now I will sand with 120 grit. All right, before sanding at 220, I'm gonna raise the grain, which just means getting everything wet, and when it dries out, like some grains raise, and then you sand that back, and that's never a problem again. And I usually use a spray bottle, but this is the only spray bottle I have, so you know, we're gonna spray with this and get everything wet, and then once it dries out, we will sand it. Wow, this is glorious. Sand it one more time. All right, now I'm just going to stand these up in the corner of my shop and wait for them to completely dry off. And then I'll sand it at 220 and put finish on them. Oh, I had to go deep into the archives for this. This is from the age-old days of me struggling and spending a lot of money to break even at craft shows. But here we are. This is just, what is it? This is beeswax? This is none of your beeswax, but it's my beeswax and mineral spirits. That's what it is. So there's nothing special about the fact that it has my logo on it, besides that I spent a lot of money to do that. Oh, yes. That's why this one will be mine. Oh, it's inside. If you think that this is where the video ends, you're wrong. I've never built pizza peels before, so I want to make sure these work before I publish a video explaining how I made pizza peels. Because what if it doesn't work? Then it's just like false advertising. So let's see if this one works. All right, I have forgotten a camera, so this will be a little bit cavemanish. Here is my pizza peel. Here is my toaster oven. And it fits really nicely. So things are looking good, but you know, we still haven't put a pizza on this thing, so it's still really up in the air if this will even work or not. So let's gather, let's like probably preheat and then gather a pizza. Oh, begin. All right, I'm finding this a little bit hard to do with one hand, but here's the pizza in question. It cost me $4 at the local Kroger. And there is the tool for the pizza. And, you know, maybe it'll work. Because of the lack of tripod, it's been way more difficult to document this than I expected, but I took it out of the box, so here it is, and then I'll flip you around. Here is the pizza, here is the pizza peel. Let's see how it fits. Oh, that's pretty good. I think that'll do nicely. All right, the moment of truth has arrived. Ooh. Let's see how this goes. In you go. Whoa. All right. Whoa, whoa. All right. There we go. All right. I think that'll do. Wow. Sorry for the really bad video quality and probably audio quality too. Here we go. Let's see how this thing does. Oh yeah. Check that out. Oh yes. This is perfect. Look at how nicely it fits. Cut a little slice out of it. Oh yeah. This could be the best pizza I've ever made. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, perfect. Bloody hot, but very good. And I'm not going to film myself eating it. Thank you for watching this video. Yeah, I'm very happy. These are a big success.